Do you ever wonder why you make certain mistakes when playing in ranked? Do you wish you knew the solutions to why you have trouble climbing in Valorant's rank system? Well, today, we're going to give you a few pointers to help with just that. What is up, ProGuides family? I'm your host, Sergeant Frost, and today, we have a very informative video for you guys. Today, we are going to talk about the biggest mistakes that people make in every single rank. Let's not waste any more time. Let's dive right into this video. Starting off this video, we have to start with the Iron rank. Iron is a unique tier in Valorant's rank system. This is the elo where a lot of players who have never played Valorant or any competitive first-person shooter are placed into. This elo is a training grounds for newer and lesser experienced players for a reason, and that is because Iron rank is where players will tend to make a lot of mistakes and have the least amount of in-game experience. But with that being said, there's one giant mistake I see time and time again from players in Iron rank, and that mistake is running and gunning. Let me elaborate even further on why this is a bad habit to get into. Valorant is a game where first shot accuracy is king. Just like its inspiration before Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Valorant is a game that is the opposite of how you would play any other FPS game. In games such as COD, Overwatch, and Apex Legends, for example, you have the ability to full sprint around the map and your shots will still be accurate and you will be able to track your targets with precision. In Valorant, this is not the case. You must stand still in order to get the 100% accuracy you will need in order to hit your targets. There are two parts to this unusual in-game mechanic, and those are accuracy while standing still and first shot accuracy. Here's the kicker, even while standing still, not all weapons are completely accurate. For example, the Vandal has a worse first shot accuracy of 0.25 compared to its counterpart the Phantom, which has a first shot accuracy of 0.20. This complex in-game mechanic can create some "you gotta be kidding me" moments when trying to hit headshots against moving targets. With that being said, the biggest mistake I see in Iron rank stems from newer players not being able to get used to these two in-game mechanics of first shot accuracy and accuracy while standing still. In order to fix this common problem, I recommend going into the practice range and using bots on hard difficulty with full armor on. You can switch between the different modes where they will flash on your screen and you have to shoot at them quickly, and the free aim mode where you can allow them to strafe back and forth while you have to hit them while moving. This will instill in your muscle memory that you have to stand completely still and aim at the head level in order to get frags in this game. Practicing this every day before you jump into games is a surefire way to master this game's shooting and moving mechanics in no time. I also recommend not only playing the game more often and for longer periods of time, because playing over longer periods of time will allow your mind to hone in on what you are doing, and it will allow your muscle memory to get a lot more practice in with what it should be doing. If you want more help learning about how you can improve your movement skills in Valorant, make sure you check out ProGuides.com. You can quickly upload your gameplay VODs on our website, and we have coaches online 24/7 who will quickly get back to you. ProGuides.com will teach you the necessary skills to rank up faster, enjoy the game more, and receive premium help from our online coaches. You can book a session whenever you need it according to your schedule. No more being stuck in your elo. Head over to ProGuides.com to begin the journey to the rank of your dreams. Moving into Bronze rank, this is an elo in the game where a lot of people are still fairly new to Valorant or the competitive FPS genre in general. It is in ranks like Bronze where games can fall apart quickly because of one quick mistake that many players tend to make, and that mistake is a lack of communication. Let me clarify, when I say a lack of communication, I'm not just talking about voice comms. I'm also talking about typing in chat, map pinging, and live directional pinging as well. In a competitive FPS game like Valorant, communication is king, and it will be the difference between winning and losing a game. Now, I know some people might be antisocial, or they don't own a mic so they won't talk in game, but not participating in voice chatting in game is no excuse for failing to relay critical information to teammates. Learning to ping on your map when you need to call out or relay information is an acceptable way to let your teammates know what is going on at all times. Even if you are in a pinch and need help, one of the best things you can do is bind your directional pings to a mouse button so that you are able to ping people, objects, and places in real time. Even with the nice advanced ping system that Riot has added into the game, nothing can beat good, clear voice comms. Learning to voice comm properly in game can take your team from being 5 randoms in a ranked game to a well-oiled 5-stack machine when playing. You guys know we can't move on in the video without our question of the day. Today's question is, what is your peak rank you've achieved in Act 3 so far? Personally, I have not been able to play as much as I have in previous acts because of computer issues, but through these issues I have still managed to crack Immortal this Act 3. As a community, let's see if we can finish this act off strong and hit our personal records before this season ends. Let us know in the comment section down below what your answer is. Now, let's get right back into the video. Transitioning into Silver rank, we see players in this elo start to get the hang of the game more. It is in this elo where you will start to see small micro improvements in a player's game that will allow them to slowly climb up the rank ladder. But one big mistake that I see way too often in this elo is improper recoil control. Valorant has a unique recoil system for its weapons, and this recoil system is not as simple as the other first-person shooters in the gaming space. Valorant has adopted a recoil system similar to CSGO, where weapons will have set spray patterns that you will need to keep consistent every time you fire your gun. It is up to the player to learn and practice these patterns in order to get the most damage potential out of your weapons. Getting back to the topic at hand, Silver players have the basic mechanics and rhythms to the game down at this point, but they will find themselves struggling to win gunfights both up close and at long range. The one tried and true solution I can recommend to help solve this issue is to first and foremost learn the recoil patterns of the guns you will use most frequently. And after you begin to learn these recoil patterns by spraying at the target wall in the range, play countless games of deathmatch and just focus on spraying people down. If you see someone at long range, try to tap your rifle at first, and after that, let your muscle memory kick in and try your best to control your spray patterns. Playing hours of deathmatch a day can turn a silver player into a high elo player very quickly, and this will happen by forcing your mouse hand to naturally learn a gun's recoil pattern and incorporate it into your muscle memory. Don't be discouraged if you struggle to learn recoil management at first. This is a skill that must be constantly practiced and honed in with time, so it will take a decent amount of time before you can spray targets down at any range. Just keep at it and utilize the practice tools Riot has given us in game to better yourself over time. Now, as we begin to analyze gold mistakes, this is the elo where many players are starting to get a little good at this game. For many people who don't know, gold is the rank where most of the player base is parked at on the rank ladder. In gold, most players know the basic ins and outs of Valorant, and they know most of the callouts for the maps. It is in gold players will start to make intelligent plays, and they will start scheming both on offense and defense to outplay the enemy team. Despite the constant improvement in a player's mechanical skills in gold, one big mistake I see in gold happens on a mental strategy side of Valorant. And that mistake is bad team comps and playing bad agents for certain maps. The higher you move up in the Valorant rank ladder, the more you'll be punished for the smallest of mistakes. This includes being punished through specific map and team exploits. Picking a solid, coherent team comp that goes with certain maps is a must, and most gold players still don't grasp the importance of team comp cohesion. For example, many times in a gold team comp, you'll see players be selfish and pick 4 duelists and 1 initiator. If you're on a map like Haven that doesn't need multiple duelists to win rounds, your team will be at a massive disadvantage if the enemy team outplays you in the draft. In gold elo, you have to put the team's needs before your own wants and desires if you're going to win games consistently. Never auto-lock agents in agent select, and communicate with your teammates what kind of style you want to play and craft strategies around that. If your team already has 2 duelists and a sentinel, play that Omen or Brimstone for smoke so that your team comp is as well-rounded as possible. Learning to build team comps around balance for both attacking and defending is high-level theory crafting that pros and high elo players will use to maximize their win conditions on certain maps. But in gold, learning how to create a well-rounded team comp that plays to your team and the map's strengths is one of the easiest ways to go on win streaks in this game. Platinum is the rank that separates the really good players from the novice and less experienced players in Valorant. In this elo, you will often find that a player's mechanical aim can be on the level of an Immortal, but their mental approach to the game and their attitude is on the level of a low elo player. Platinum is a rank that many players will get perma-stuck in, and that is because they fail to recognize their mistakes and change their ways. One big mistake I see a lot in this rank is a failure to adapt to how the enemy team is playing. For example, on defense, if you're getting steamrolled by a 5-man push every round on a bomb site, many players won't adjust by stacking that site or playing closer to it than before. One of the biggest qualities a player can have in high elo is the ability to adapt and change their playstyle and positioning according to what the enemy team is trying to do. One of the best ways to solve this problem is to be willing to play the whole map winning game. Don't get stuck in the rut of defending the same bomb site in the same spot every round, and never get into the habit of attacking the same site for 13 rounds straight in a game. Communicate with your teammates and split up the responsibilities among them. Learn to play the whole map and don't get stuck doing the same routine every single round, because the enemy team will catch on to you and they will punish you accordingly. Moving on to Diamond rank, this is an elo where you will finally start playing the best of the best players. It is not uncommon when you hit Diamond 3 to start seeing radiance on your team and on the enemy team. With that being said, there is one single mistake that I see way too often in my Diamond games, and that is being unnecessarily aggressive. Don't get me wrong, being aggressive is a good trait in Valorant because if you have the skill to match your aggression, you will be able to overpower your enemies and win games with ease. The detrimental type of aggression that I'm talking about is being aimlessly aggressive without purpose. This kind of behavior involves solo pushing on your own and dying to a player 1v1 that caught you off guard. This kind of aggression also looks like players that take unnecessary fights that can be avoided. It also involves players that peek angles that they should not be and dying when they run into an enemy that had good crosshair placement. Way too many players in Diamond are aimlessly aggressive without a purpose, and you will find yourself dying a lot because of it. The best way I can recommend fighting this bad habit is to play passive and wait for the enemy team to come to you. Communicate with your team that you want to play the game slow and let the enemies make mistakes first, and you will see yourself winning a lot more games with this kind of mindset. Now, transitioning into the highest of elos, Immortal is a rank where you will often see pro players and semi-pro prospects in your games, and this means that any and all mistakes will be punished if they are caught. With that being said, in these ranks, many players don't make simple mistakes, and there will be much more coordinated play between you, your team, and the enemies. With that being said, one mistake I see a lot in Immortal rank is playing like an individual. Team coordination is what separates who will win and lose a round, and even the slightest break in team cohesion can lead to a mistake and a lost round. Learn to be more open and willing to communicate with your teammates, and learn to make sacrifices when playing for the betterment of your team. Many games in Immortal and Radiant are decided by less than 3 rounds. It is not uncommon for many of your games in these elos to go to overtime and come down to the wire. In order to not be the victim of a heartbreak because you lost a game by 1 round, learn to be a better teammate that's willing to do whatever it takes for the team to win. Whether you need to be the entry frag, the support player, a smoker, or even if you need to lead the charge by being an IGL in game. Learn to be a better teammate and you will find much more success in the high elo brackets. To end this video, we will talk about the biggest mistake Radiant players make. Before we move on, let me be honest. Radiant rank is the top 0.1% for a reason. There are roughly, give or take, less than 200 players in this rank, and they are all there for a reason. And that is because they make as few mistakes as possible when playing Valorant. But we are all humans and no one is perfect, and with that, there are areas in which Radiant players can also improve their game. The biggest thing I've seen Radiant players struggle with from experience is overconfidence and toxicity. Toxicity honestly is one of the biggest factors holding players back from hitting rank 1 on the ladder or from getting opportunities to go pro. Many players in Radiant will be overconfident in their abilities and will underestimate their opponents and get punished accordingly. Don't be fooled. Just because a player hits Radiant rank does not mean that they can underperform or have bad games. Radiant players can be humbled by their peers and they can struggle to be consistent in their play as well. For an elo with the best of the best players in the world, we have to remember that Radiants are still human and will make mistakes in game. My advice is to humble yourself and never have an attitude that you are the best player on earth and that you are above everyone else. This will help you get out of a toxic mindset and can unlock a more productive mental state for you while playing. Learning to change yourself and to be humble is one of the best ways to improve in Valorant no matter what rank you are. Well everyone, that is all we have for the biggest mistakes we see in every elo. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed the content. We upload new videos just like this one every day, and the best way to stay notified of that is by hitting that notification bell. Don't forget to check out ProGuides.com to gain some access to some amazing coaching. Remember to stay safe out there, and I will see you all again very soon.